stuck with this thing. So what exactly we have to go with, and what exactly we need to understand into this context. So for that thing, let's suppose that we are creating a new screen. Let's delete this part, and second screen. Let's suppose we are going to build a screen named as Signup screen. Signup screen. So we will build, or we are getting building, or we are building a specified screen named as Signup screen. So we are creating a new file with the name of same value, Signup screen, like this .art. Here, when we have to remove this. Instead of this, we have to use Signup screen. Signup screen like this. Okay. Into the signup screen, what exactly we have to go with, or what exactly we have to do? We have to create a class with the name of with the name of that screen. So for this, first of all, we have to import the package of Flutter contains material.art. Okay. Then we have to call the class, and into this class we have to go with sign up. Let's suppose app, and we will extend this part with the help of stateless. Stateless. Okay. Like this. And here we have to use the same sign up app here. Sign up like this. Okay. Now into this, if what exactly we have to go with, or what exactly we have to do now into this. Saiti, what exactly we have to go with? What exactly we have to go with? Hello. Yeah, am I audible? Okay. So if I mention the specified class, why I'm getting error into the sign up app? Can you please explain that why exactly we are getting error into the sign up app? Hello. Uh, Not at all. We actually getting all the elements whatever we need. So we are creating a class now, but into the class we are getting some kind of error like sign up app. So why we are getting this other sign up app into the sign up app? Are you getting my point? Like what exactly am I asking? I'm asking that when if I write it like this, if I write it like this, I am not getting any kind of error. But if I go with extends and if I use stateless widget, then why I'm getting error into the sign up app? This is my question. So you have to understand this thing. I cover these things into many videos, into many parts, into many classes. So actually, when I declared that, or when I inherit all the properties of this stateless widget into the sign up app, so this sign up app also has to return some kind of widget to us. Okay. So for that thing, we have to create a code so that whenever we call this app, or whenever we call this class, it will return a specified widget to us. Okay, we already done this into our previous classes. So for that thing, we have to use this override method. And if you remember that we have this widget type, or we have this widget return type by using building method, or by using building by use this build method. Have you remember this? We done this at very far away. So now what we have to do, we have to return the part, and into this returning part, we will go with the uh, we can go with some screens that will be, let's suppose, sign up screen, or you can go with the some sign up screen. Okay, so we will return the material app, and into this material app, what exactly we going to do? We are just calling the home, and into this home we are going to build sign up screen like this. Okay. So what exactly this sign up screen is? Sign up screen will contain some kind of codes, whatever we are filing it or whatever we are process or whatever we need to process into this part. So because the sign up screen is also a specified class, it will also contain some kind of class. So we have to go outside from this class like this, and we have to create another screen with the name of sign up screen. Okay. So again, we have to create the sign up screen, but now this part, this sign up app is the stateless widget, while this sign up screen will be a stateful widget. So as I mentioned, that stateless widget is always a static class. That means all the elements into this class, all the elements into this widget will remain same whenever you will call them. Okay, there's no there will no any change appears into this part until unless you will rebuild the specified activity. Okay, but if we go with real time scenarios, if we go with the if we need to put the values, or if we need to increase or decrease the value into real time scenarios, then what we have to do, we have to create a stateful widget. So for that thing, we have to use this sign up screen like this, and into this we have to extend the stateful widget. Okay, like this. The basic difference between stateful and stateless widget is that a stateless widget is returning a widget to us, while stateful widget is returning a state to us. Okay, what exactly state is? So let's suppose that give me a moment. Saiti, is it visible to you? Okay. So now let's suppose that if I call a specified screen into my scenario, let's suppose that into this scenario, into this part, let's suppose it is sign up screen, and it's a stateless widget. It's a stateless widget, SLW, that means it's a stateless widget. And whenever we call it, let's suppose we have a text here and we have a button here. So every time whenever we call this, always the elements are placed on the same place, whatever wherever we place them into previous times. So that is our that is the widget part. That is the widget part. That means it contains some kind of things that are placed into a several scenarios or into a several places. That's a widget. Okay. Just a minute now, Saiti. Yeah. But when we have to, or when we go with stateful widgets, now we are not returning anything like widget. We are returning a specified state. What exactly state is that? Let's suppose I have this corner, or I have this piece of block, and into this piece of block I have a number that is 0. So into this real time scenario, whenever I press this button, okay, this button will ensure, or this button will help us to make changes into this state. So state will handle all the changes whatever we are made by a specified time or into a specified time. Any doubt, Saiti? It's clear. So we have to go with this thing only. So here we are, because we are building a stateful widget, so we have to return a specified state. Okay. Any doubt? So into stateless widget, what exactly we return? Into stateless widget, what exactly we return? Hello? Yeah, Saiti. Am I audible? Okay. So into stateless widget, what exactly we return? Okay. So let's suppose this is a stateless widget. What exactly we are returning here? No, this not the sign up screen. I am asking for this stateless widget. Na? So whenever we are using stateless widget, we always return a widget. Please remember this part. While if we using stateful widget, we always return a state. Okay. Maybe you probably working with Flutter now. Okay, so you will probably know about set state. Yes or no? Okay, so this set state actual comes from this state part, which is a part of this stateful widget, or which is a child of this stateful widget. Okay. Now we have to go with override method, and we have to create a state like this. Okay. Into this, what exactly we are doing? We are creating a specified state with the name of this stateful widget. Okay. And here we are using a method just like build method, just like we are creating a method that is build method. We are using method create state method like this. Okay. Into this create state method, what exactly we have to pass on, or what exactly we have to working with. So instead of using these curly braces, we are using the arrow function here. And what exactly we going to do? We have to write it into a different manner. Let's suppose override, and we have to create a private class here. So I am using a sign up screen state. Okay, and then we are creating a state. So that is create state like this, and we are passing these values to whom? To the sign up screen state, or you can say this sign up screen state like this. Okay. So what exactly we are doing here, or what exactly we are creating? We are actually creating an object. Okay. So have you maybe we done with classes and objects, that how you can create a specified class, and if you need that specified class, then how you create a specified object into main methods and or into main classes and all. Yeah. Have you remembered this part or not? Okay, so how exactly we do this? So, Saidi, you do one thing. Go through with all the Dart classes previously we done with it. Okay, just revise all the concepts of Dart. What exactly we done. Okay, then you will probably possibly and perfectly understand these words. Okay. So here we are creating an object with the help of create state. Okay, create state method. Now what we have to do? We have to okay. Why we are getting error into the sign up screen state? No, but exactly into the main method we already work with sign up app. Na? We already call them sign up app. Okay. Why exactly I'm getting error into this part? The main question is this. Okay. So you have to follow these parts, because we are not creating the specified screen. That's why, or we are not creating we are not created that class. That's why we are getting error. Okay. Please focus on this part now. So we have to use a sign up screen state like this, and here what exactly we have to use? We have to use this state. I already mentioned this part into previous video of set state or stateful and stateless widgets. Okay, so go through with that video. Okay, go through with that class. So that is, yeah, you can go with separate folder as well. Okay. So here we are using the class sign up screen state, and here what exactly we have to go with? We have to, because with the help we are creating the internal class with the help of this create state. So that's why we will create that specified internal class sign up screen state, that is underscore sign up. Underscore will represent the internal part, or you can say the private part. Okay, so the private means that this sign up screen state or this underscore sign up screen state can only work with this sign up screen and cannot go beyond it. Okay. So here what exactly we have to do, we have to inherit all the properties of the state, whatever we need to pass on. Okay. And what state and which exactly state we need to pass. So we have to pass the name of that state, that is sign up screen, because this class, this private class belongs to this sign up screen. That's why we are passing the value into this part. Okay. Any doubt? Okay. Have you yeah. Yeah, we are creating a specified state. State, what exactly state is? So state is your dynamic. Here the state is dynamic state. Okay. So into the real time scenario, whenever I'll make some changes, it will change into this part, whatever set it as a dynamic state. So actually, this part, this when we go with this thing, just give me a minute. When let's suppose when I create this box, okay. So I declared that this box will be what? This box will be stateful widget. Okay. So is the whole box can be dynamic? Can this whole is this whole box is dynamic? No. This whole box is not the specified dynamic place, but the content, whatever we are placing into it, are into the dynamic form. Okay. So for that thing, that means I am saying that whatever the content we are placing inside this box should be into dynamic form. Okay. So that's why we are creating two different classes. One is the class which is stateful, whatever we extend the stateful and so on, and the another thing or the another box which we are holding like this. Here it is. Here this blue screen will state that whatever inside me is a part of dynamic state, and whenever you will go with some kind of changes, I'll sense it and I'll fix into it. Okay. Or you can say I'll build the specified widget again. Okay. I'll build this whole specified widget again. Okay. And I'll reload whatever you'll pass on to me. Okay. So that this is what set state will do. So that's why that's how we are creating this part. So actually we are creating this blue part into this thing. Okay. Any doubt? Okay. So for that thing, now what exactly we have to go with? We have to use, or we have to create some data organs or some data values, whatever we have to pass or whatever we have to store into these parts. So for that thing, first of all, we have to use with final, and here I am creating a form key. What exactly this form key will do? This is a basic variable, whatever which ensures the specified state of a particular thing. I'll explain it later that why exactly we are using this part. So we are using the global key. Okay. And into this global key, we are using the state, whatever we are using into this form. So we are using the form state like this. Okay. Why we are using form state? Because we are creating a form. Because we are creating a sign up screen and we are creating a form. That's why we are getting this form state. Okay. And after this form state, okay, we have to remove this part because, and after this we have to put this parenthesis here. Now into this, we are creating a specified form key like this, and into this key, we have to use or we have to declare some key fields. So let's suppose what exactly I'm trying to say here, that I have this mobile screen like this, and into this mobile screen, first of all, I need to go with these two form widget fields or the text fields. Okay, we have to go with these text fields like this. So into this text fields, how exactly we are going to build those text fields here. So for those things or for that things, we have to use text editing controller. Okay, this is the class text editing controller, and then we have to declare the variable. So this text editing controller is a type of class, and we are creating an object of this class, that is name controller here. like this, and then we are put on the constructor of this, that is text editing controller, and this constructor like this. So this is what this text editing controller is the class. Name controller is the object by which we can handle all the operations into this class. Okay, so let's suppose if I go and hover over this, so you will find out that it's a controller for an editable text field. Okay, whatever the text field we are going to build. So let's suppose this text field, whatever the text field we are going to build, whatever operations we need to do this will handle by this text editing controller. Okay, any doubt? Okay, it's clear. Now let's go with another controller, and here I'm changing the name. Let's suppose I am changing the email controller. So here we will pass the name of person, and here we will pass the email of person. Okay, like this. Now into this, after this, what exactly we have to go with? We have to go with some radio buttons for the gender. Okay, so let's suppose here the gender, and for the male you have to select this button, and for the female you have to select this button. Okay, this is how we have to go with. So we are actually building a gender radio button like this. And into this gender radio button, what exactly we have to go with? We have to pass on the two values. That is, first of all, we have to create a string variable named as gender. The what exactly it will do? It will by default selected some kind of value with us. So let's suppose I pass the name, I pass the variable, I pass the value male. That means if someone will not select anything into this radio button, the value will by default set it on male. Okay, is it clear, Saiti? Okay, now let's suppose we have to create the checkbox. Like how exactly we go with checkbox part, or sorry, radio button part or checkbox part. So for that thing, we have to go with something. We are not creating the radio button. Okay, we will create the radio button later. First of all, we have to go with checkbox. So for checkbox, we have to use this map variable. Have you know about this map part? So what exactly map is? Yeah, key value. Perfect. So we have to pass the key values here. So whatever the keys will be passed into string, and whatever values will be passed into this bool. What exactly we are going to do this? Into this we are creating a specified interest. Let's suppose that we have to build this check boxes, like what type of interest you have. Let's suppose you have an interest into coding. Let's suppose you have an interest into reading, or you have an interest into gaming. What kind of interest you have, so you have to check over this. Okay, if you not check by default these values, because we don't know that what kind of hobbies you have. Either you have a coding hobby, or you perfectly blind with the reading, and you are a perfect gamer. So what kind of things you have to go with? So for that thing, for this thing, for this scenarios, we have to understand that we will set all the values as false parameters, because we don't know that what kind of values will user will take, or maybe user have any hobbies or not. Okay, so for that thing, I am creating a variable named as interest is equals to, and here what exactly we have to go with? We have to pass the keys, and then we have to pass the value. So the key is coding. Okay, let's suppose that a specified person is interested into coding, and we are passing the value false like this. Secondly, if the person is interested into reading, then we are passing the false value again, and okay, like this, and the same thing again. We have to, let's suppose, gaming, and we pass the false value again because we don't know anything about the user. Okay, any doubt into this part? We are actually, we are, what exactly we are doing, we are creating some variables so that whenever we are going to change state, we will look on this part. Now the third part is, let's suppose we have to use the DOB, uh, or the, whenever you will go with this thing, or whatever the date you are going to select it. So we have to create a select date part, that someone can select the specified date, whatever the date you need to put on. For that thing, we have to create some date and time pickers like this, and into this date and time pickers, what exactly we have to go with? First of all, we will go with date time, and we are not sure that someone will enter the date time or not. So we have passed this nullable variable, and we will go with this selected date. That's the variable. Again, we are going to fetch the time. So we are using the time of day class, and again we are creating it as null, because we don't know that what kind of time, or at what time my user is applying, or my user is on my screen or on my application. Okay, so that's why we are creating the nullable variable or nullable type here. For that thing, we have to go with selected time, let's suppose. So this is how we just go with date and time pickers. Now at last, what exactly we have to go with? Let's suppose, let's go with some slider and switches button as well. What are exactly slider and switches button? Uh, uh, let's suppose, what's a weight. If I go with weight, so I have a specified this slider, so someone can slide this part, okay, like this. Or you can say with that are you on diet, or are you on diet, or you are just a Murphy player. Okay, so for that thing, we have to use a button like this, a switch button like this, that someone, if it is on left hand side, then the user will be on diet. If it's on right hand side, then the user is on Murphy process or Murphy play. So now, what exactly we have to go with? We have to go with this slider and switch part. Here we will go with some kind of sliders and so on. So here, because the slider has some kind of values, so I'm just creating some value, slider value, that will be equals to, by default it will be equals to 10. That whenever my user comes on the screen, the value will be 10. Similarly, I am creating a bool variable, that is switch value, and here we are going to set it like false. So what exactly the slider value will be, so sorry, what exactly the switch value will be, this is what. So this is right or left, or you can go with what it is. It can be a false, or can be a true. If it is on right hand side, it can be a true. If it is on left hand side, then it is false. So we are actually doing this part. Any doubt, Saiti? Okay, so for the first part, just go with these things. Okay, try to build these parts. Try to understand the concept, what exactly we are going to build. And tomorrow we will place all the elements. Today we just build some kind of variables here, but tomorrow we will go with some kind of placement areas or placement objects into our screen.